Hey, Curtis.
Hey, Oz.
What movie do you have for us this week?
This week, as we continue Patreon Subscriber Month, we've got Looney Tunes, plus the producers, whole lot of Life is Beautiful, all tied together by the hilarious Triumph of the Will. This week, we're talking about Jojo Rabbit.
I wasn't sure if a Mein Kampf was going to show up in your movie.
Nope, I did not have Mein Kampf.
No,
so it's
hilarious.
Like, let's go with the ironic downer of a punchline for
no
this
kid. Yeah, Triumph of the Will.
Triumph of the Will.
That's fitting. That's fair.
I thought it fit the movie.
It definitely
with
fit the
how
movie.
brainwashed the kids were.
Yeah, definitely fit the movie. Welcome back, listeners and viewers, to another episode of Let's Talk About Flicks, the podcast where we take a monthly theme, this month being Patreon Subscriber Choice Month.
Yes.
I'm one of your hosts, Oz.
I have the other host, Curtis.
And before we get too far, we want to give a shout out to all our Patreon subscribers all the time. Donna S., Aaron A., Mandy K., Melissa L., Colin K., and this week's selector, Lyle M.
Yes, Lyle M., thank you for bringing us this movie. I know it's a big favorite of yours and your better half, Deb, and we will do our best to honor the movie and honor you with this week's edition.
Exactly. This is that time where we tell you also to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment, all those things you can do to interact with the video or podcast you're listening to. And if you want any quick access to the back catalog of all of our episodes, check out our website, letstalkaboutflix.com.
Yes, Oz created this beautiful website. Check it out. A lot of fun stuff there. Great curation there, my friend.
Yeah, I finally, of course, I've been super busy the last couple of weeks with basketball and play practice and this, that, and whatever. And so I finally got finished with the Long Good Friday. And just this morning, before we started recording, I finished Spine number 27, Flesh for Frankenstein.
Nice.
Paul Morrissey, Udo Kier. Everybody's given about 10% more than realism.
Yeah. I love me some Udo Kier.
Oh, he is. Yeah. If you haven't seen this or Spine 28, Blood for Dracula, both Paul Morrissey, both Andy Warhol.
Those are Hammer, right? Hammer Studios?
No, they're not Hammer. They feel like Hammer. They do. I actually.
Oh, okay. I'm getting mixed up. Yep.
Yeah. I actually write about that a little bit in the review I'll be putting up here soon.
Okay.
But yeah, they feel like a Hammer film. They've got that whole castle and the
campiness.
Yeah. Yep. Here comes some bats flying into scene, but there's also sex with a gallbladder. There's a lot, and it's super campy and super fun. And so because I've always enjoyed the Hammer films, but it's at times it's it's a little too atmospheric.
Yeah.
Of everybody's a duke or, a count or whatever. And this is we see you, but we're still going to have open wounds and oddity, and it's a lot of fun. So
the Dracula one that's the Virgin, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yes.
Yep. That's Udo Kier's.
Kier.
He's looking for a blood of a virgin.
With a virgin.
So that one's next. Maybe I'll get that knocked out this weekend. Yeah. And I want to give new blogger for our site, Josh Adams, a former college mate of ours. He emailed me yesterday, not to put him on the spotlight, but he had emailed me about 3 weeks ago saying, I've got that blog ready.
Nice.
And
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, and then emailed me yesterday I thought you hated it, and I realized I never sent it. So here's that blog. Let me know. And it's perfect. He's shining a light on the importance and feeling and emotion of attending cinema and owning your own physical media. And it's a very passionate, well thought out opinion piece that is definitely worth a read. So check it out on the website. Yeah. Because at least somebody else is chiming in some blogs for the website.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So anyway, Jojo Rabbit. let's see here. You've got the plot.
Yes, I got the plot. So who's in Jojo Rabbit, Oz?
It's a very fun cast.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I really enjoyed this movie. Not to go spoil, my future review, or rating. But Jojo is played by Roman Griffin Davis. Does an excellent job. Like, we've talked several times over the 229 previous episodes of the show, the potential hit or miss of a child lead, even just child actor in general. But Roman Griffin Davis nails it as Jojo. 10-year-old,
he's so good in this.
10-year-old German boy who is the poster child of being brainwashed by the Nazi movement.
Yes, he literally is a Hitler Youth member, and he takes a lot of pride in it.
Yes, and they take a lot of advantage of what it means to be a Hitler Youth member.
Yep.
Thomasin McKenzie, we've seen her before in Last Night in Soho. She plays Elsa Core, a 16-year-old Jewish girl who is being hidden out, and we'll get to that in the plot. Scarlett Johansson, playing Jojo's mom, Rosie. She is secretly anti-Nazi in this film, which I guess the best disguise for being anti-Nazi is to support the efforts of your Nazi youth son. No one's going to suspect me if I have a Hitler Youth. Taika Waititi, director of the film, plays Adolf Hitler.
A version of Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, Jojo's imaginary friend. Waititi being part Jewish, which it was fun of him to be like, what better way to poke fun at Hitler than have a Jew play him? I'm like, go for it.
May as well have Mel Brooks in the role.
Exactly. Sam Rockwell plays Captain Kleisendorf, basically just plays Sam Rockwell. A German officer. He runs the Hitler youth camp, and you could tell that he'd rather be elsewhere, but the party gave up on him, and so he's kind of given up too. Rebel Wilson, playing Rebel Wilson, basically as Fraulein Rom. She works at the Hitler youth camp, but she's more like in charge of the girls. Alfie Allen of Game of Thrones fame plays Freddie Finkel, which sounds like Freddie Finkel sounds like a name I've heard before. It's probably Howard's cousin. Howard Finkel.
It's probably Howard Finkel. Famed WWF ring announcer Howard Finkel.
Yes. Yeah, they're related. So he works at the Hitler Youth Camp. Stephen Merchant makes a role. Who is, I know he's tall, but is he that tall?
He's like 6'6" or something like that.
I know, but man,
he
towers over everybody in this film.
And you wonder if they intentionally cast shorter actors beside him.
Yeah, I could see that. Like Roman Griffin Davis.
Yeah.
That's
the only reason they had a lead, like a child in the lead character, is just to make Stephen Merchant look taller.
The book this was based on, he was 27. But in this movie, he's 10. Stephen Merchant playing basically the lead of the Gestapo that come in through every now and then, almost like a swarm of bees. They float in and out. You got might be my favorite character in the movie. Archie Yates is Yorkie. Yeah. It's Jojo's best friend, also Hitler Youth member, very portly young man. It's just so cute. And then you've got the rest of the Gestapo agents. That's about it, really. That's still a lot we named off, but they all play a role.
Yeah.
All right. So what is Jojo Rabbit? It's clearly about, this is like Watership Down, right?
Yeah.
Is that where the rabbits come in?
That's where the rabbits come in.
Yeah.
I also, going through, we were talking a little bit pre-show about like the movie marriage. I had 15-ish possible movies.
Right.
So I left off Royal Tenenbaums. I left off Schindler's List, Drop Dead Fred and Harvey for having the imaginary friend.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Fantastic Mr. Fox. Kung Fury was the last one I cut from the movie marriage.
That would have been a fair piece. And I had mentioned I had Let the Right One In.
Yeah, that would have been good too.
And which again, if you've seen the movie or at least know the plot, it would make a little more sense of here's a person I should not be associating with that has really changed my perspective on things.
Yeah. Well, and similar-ish to that, I had American History X is a possibility for me. Just, it's hard to hate someone that, once you know their story. Yeah. I had Hogan's Heroes as a possibility.
Do you think Yorkie grows up to be the lead in American History X?
He could be. Yeah.
Yeah. He just really slimmed down the same way that Harry Potter kid really glowed up.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
It's probably they're connected.
They're in the same universe.
Same universe, yeah.
Yeah, American History X and Jojo Rabbit.
Joe Rabbit, yep.
Yep.
They both have swastikas.
Yeah, that's true. So we open on a 10-year-old Jojo putting on his Hitler Youth outfit, swearing allegiance to Hitler and declaring, "Today is the day I become a man." And he's gaining confidence from his imaginary friend, Adolf.
Yes.
I always put Adolf in quotes throughout
Yes.
all of my notes.
That's
because we never see the actual Adolf Hitler.
No,
it's always the imaginary version of him.
Yeah, which is fun.
Yeah, and Adolf is very Drop Dead Fred Bugs Bunny.
Yes,
in this.
Yeah, he was giving me a lot of like. Did you ever see Little Monsters with Fred Savage and Howie Mandel?
Oh, it's been so long.
But you're familiar.
But yes,
yeah. But in that, not an imaginary friend, but just very buffoonish.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the vibe of this movie. Again, Patreon subscriber Melissa L has strong feelings that this is not a comedy. And even looking at IMDb, looking at like the subcategories, how they go through. Coming of age is the first one, then dark comedy, then high concept comedy, then period drama, psychological drama, quirky comedy, and satire.
Right.
Like that's a lot of ground to cover there.
That's a wide range of
going from period drama to quirky comedy to psychological drama. That's a lot. And this movie manages to hit all of them.
It does.
I describe this. There is a lot of humor in the movie. I'm trying to remember. I watched it last week. If I ever like literally LOL, like if I laughed out loud. Again, I chuckled a lot during the movie, but it's also a very sad, poignant movie too.
Yes.
So
yeah, I felt a lot of the humor in this was more in delivery by people who can deliver comedy.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and that's where Taika comes in.
With Taika and Rockwell and and Stephen Merchant, like they're going to make their characters funny-ish because they're funny people.
Yeah. So he and Adolf scream Heil Hitler, which sends Jojo running into the streets screaming while the Beatles' I Want to Hold Your Hand plays behind him in German.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
Yes, in German. There's imagery that they juxtapose all this with imagery of Nazi women screaming and fawning over Hitler from like file footage.
Yes,
a la the Hard Day's Night. So it's kind of the opening sequence is a send up of a Hard Day's Night.
Yeah,
it
works.
I don't know if you could say that, huh?
That's it, and it works.
Yeah, if that like sets the tone for the movie, but like it establishes like this isn't gonna be Schindler's List. This isn't Life is Beautiful. This isn't The Pianist. This isn't your classic period drama version of of Germany and World War II, Holocaust or Holocaust adjacent settings. We meet Yorkie. Jojo and his friend Yorkie attend a big Hitler Youth gathering with Captain Kleisendorf. He greets, and again, this is where the Count Fury comes in. He Kleisendorf greets them with "Heil Hitler, guys."
Yeah, he's so like one. I think one of the things that I really enjoyed about this movie, on the other side of it, is this isn't about Nazi power. This, to me, was about the Nazi effect.
Sure.
Because we don't see armies, we don't see war until the end.
We get a glimpse at the end, but that's it.
But this is about just the Beatlemania of what the Hitler Party did.
The zeitgeist. It's like the social psychology.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And does that mean that every single person is on board? No, they're not. And that's kind of the fun for me of this movie, is seeing the balance of just being a fanatic.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
a good way to put it.
And being somebody on the outskirts of that fandom of like, we went through it where it's like, you know what? These kids are going to stop saying 6-7. So let's just write it out. Like right now it's this bomb of energy and it's annoying, but we're all going through it. So just do your best, because it will go away.
Yeah.
Only the Nazi was less. We knew 6'7" would go away. We knew Visco Girls would go away.
Visco Girls, yeah.
This was a little scarier, but it's still. I kind of that's kind of how I found myself watching it. It's like this is everyone else.
It was the fad. It was the thing to get into if you were a non-Jewish youth in Germany at the time.
And in typical fashion, even when you are surrounded by fanatics, you still have gatekeepers, which we'll get to. People like, well, no, you're not as good as I am at being a fan.
Yeah. Yeah. It also, I found myself with the social psychology of it leaning into, like why people join gangs, why people join cults. It's all about safety and belongingness and feeling seen. And, you lose your sense of personal responsibility when there's a bigger group around, and that feels good to some people.
Yeah.
That I'm not responsible for my actions because there's so many other people doing the same thing. And yeah,
a
lot to unpack.
I'm just glad we don't have any of this cult-like behavior anymore.
No. You don't see any of that these days.
I'm thankful that is beyond us, and we can make movies about what it used to be like.
What it used to be. Oh,
I'm glad that's over.
I'm glad that's done. We finally, as humanity, we've reached the point where we can put that in the rear view mirror.
Right.
So at this big Hitler Youth gathering, the boys get cool stuff. They get like weapons and like fun things. The girls are told how to dress wounds, make beds, and get pregnant. That is your role, females. Yeah. It's in which they look very forlorn and disappointed. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Fräulein Rahm, a Hitler Youth teacher, teaches students about evil Jews and book burning because that's, as a teacher.
Yeah. That's important.
Yeah. So Jojo and Yorkie fantasize about catching a Jew and giving it to Hitler to become his best friend. Jojo is patronized by the leaders of the Hitler Youth, like the youth leaders as well as his peers, for failing to kill a captive rabbit. They're to prove himself. Like the leaders kind of identify, and Jojo is physically smaller than most of the other kids there, and just kind of appears meek too. He just has kind of his physicality, how he carries himself, kind of has a meekness to him, and so they put him on the spot in front of everybody and hand him a live rabbit and say, kill it. And he can't bring himself to do it. So, they start patronizing him. They said, your father was a war deserter, and they call him Jojo Rabbit, because he failed to kill the rabbit.
Which thankfully that was the title of the movie. So it fit.
They added this scene later during post to make that work.
How are we going to make the rabbit thing pay off? Wait.
The whole plot of the movie revolved. It's like we started with the title, and now we've got to find a way to get there.
It's like Wolf Cop.
That's exactly.
I have a title. How am I going to make this work?
How are we going to get to the cop being a wolf? So afterwards, Jojo processes with Adolf, who tells Jojo to be the rabbit, be humble, be sneaky, be strong. And with Adolf, he gets his gumption up and he runs back to the group, who's now practicing throwing grenades. And he grabs one, throws it, it bounces off a tree, lands at his feet, explodes, sending him to the hospital.
Right.
Yeah, very cartoonish sequence. Of him running back, and
we already know at this point just the vibe of the movie, that even when he does, like you say, get his gumption up, runs, grabs that grenade right out of oh good lord, Kleinendorf hands.
Yeah,
it's real slow motion, and you're like, you just know this is going to go wrong. Like, he's not going to be the hero.
No, that's not how these kinds of movies work.
No.
So he ends up in the hospital. We meet Mother Rosie, played by Scarlett Johansson. After he recovers, she brings him to Kleinendorf's office. She kicks Kleinendorf in the groin and just demands that Jojo is included. You kind of, it's not obvious here, but you could tell Kleinendorf kind of has a thing for Rosie.
Yes.
Yeah. because he immediately just acquiesces to her demands. Like
Right.
he doesn't fight back. He doesn't man up, in front of, because there's other officers in the room too, like Rems, his the others are there,
Yeah.
Rebel Wilson's character and whatnot.
Yeah. Which, to be honest, is also kind of telling about what it's like to be a member of a large group movement that
Mhm.
gets singled out.
Yeah.
Like independently, I'm not strong. So yeah, when she does come and stands her ground and he buckles instantly, yes, because he's attracted, but B, because
He got
He's-
kicked in the groin.
but he's not individually strong anyway. Like
Yeah.
I need a support group to be able, and he's old enough. Like I think any of those Hitler Youth members that we really put it to Jojo out in the woods,
Mhm.
I don't think Rosie would have walked all over them because they were teenagers and have an attitude. But I think Kleinendorf is just whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you get the idea she probably recognized that too.
Oh yeah, she's a strong person.
Yeah. She's very, very savvy, Rosie.
Mhm.
And so Kleinendorf states he's been demoted for the Jojo incident. While hanging conscription flyers, Rosie demands that Jojo looks at several publicly hanged defectors. So right there in the town square, there are you see a half a dozen people who've been hung, and it's very public. And Rosie insists that Jojo look at it, despite the fact that he has a 10-year-old boy, and like most humans, you don't want to look at that. She insists, no, you look at that, you take that in.
Mm-hmm.
So at home, Jojo is by himself, and he finds a teenage Jew, Elsa, hiding in their walls. Elsa is or was the best friend of Jojo's now deceased older sister, Inga. And Jojo, as being a part of the Hitler Youth, they have like a special knife that they're given. And so she takes it from him, threatens him with it. Jojo again processes with Adolf later, who Adolf calls her a female Jesse Owens. And accuses her of using her Jewish mind powers.
Yeah.
At the end of the conversation, he just dives out a window.
Because again, all this is in the mind of a 10-year-old boy.
Yes, yeah, it's all his subconscious.
Yeah,
and so his subconscious understands that this is what Jewish people do. This is what they're capable of. This is why we're so afraid of them.
This is what I've been taught.
Yeah,
what I've been told,
and what I believe, and so of course his imaginary friend validates all of those thoughts and feelings. Later we see Rosie talking with Elsa, because of course Rosie is the one who arranged for this.
Right.
They have a really sweet conversation about about hope, and as long as you're alive, there's hope here. So at Kleinendorf's joking suggestion, Jojo tries to learn from Elsa about her Jewish secrets, which I capitalized in my notes, to write a book called The Yahoo Jew.
Yeah.
So again, Jojo he's investigating what makes Jewish people,
right?
And he thinks that by writing this book, it will gain him notoriety and help gain a greater awareness and cultural knowledge about what the Jews are really up to and what makes them tick. Elsa very sarcastically says that Jews are demons who love money. He says she's not a proper person, and she challenges him, asking him the same, and she throws him down. She grapples with him to prove that she is physically stronger and more capable than he is.
Yeah.
So just interesting sequence there. At family dinner, Rosie is happy the Allies have taken back Italy. So she doesn't, when it's just her and Jojo, she kind of lets her guard down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't necessarily like push her beliefs on Jojo, but she talks like she's happy the Allies have taken back Italy, and Jojo is resentful of his mother's beliefs because he's that far gone. Rosie then again, another sweet sequence here. She pretends to be Jojo's father, because they haven't seen each other in months, if not years. And says, and in character as Jojo's father, her husband says Jojo needs to take care of Rosie. The next day, Elsa reveals that she has a fiance, Nathan. Nathan is a resistance fighter and uh, writes Elsa letters. Jojo starts forging fake letters from Nathan, pretending to be Nathan, that end up complimenting and comforting Elsa. Rosie tells Jojo there's always time for romance. He'll meet someone special someday. They're at like the side of a river.
Just kind of giving him a hard time because, again, for a 10-year-old, it's
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable to talk about romance.
Yes.
And so mom just leans into it and makes him uncomfortable.
It's again another kind of, there's kind of, the act 2 has some kind of sweet, kind of silly fun scenes.
They really do,
interactions between Jojo and
well,
Rosie.
as we see more Jojo away from the Hitler Youth, and like the power of large groups, as we know, of, you know, like the individual is not always thinking with the group hive mind mindset. So it's fun to see Jojo learn.
Yeah. And these sequences also, as he's spending more time with Elsa, you can see how his time with Elsa influences his time with Rosie. Like at first he tries to dig his heels in more, like, no, like she's the enemy, you know, the Jewish people are the enemy. And Rosie confronts that, but in her own kind of indirect, silly ways. Because she knows that if she just comes right back at Jojo, his entrenched belief system will take over and not allow him to, to show empathy or anything close to that. So Rosie says, love is the strongest thing in the world, Jojo. And I think, and then he responds, just a fun back and forth here. He responds to that statement from Rosie with saying, I think you'll find that metal is the strongest thing, followed closely by dynamite and then muscles. So again, that's what Hitler Youth are taught. It's all about domination. It's all about, displays of strength. Again, like you said before, Oz, we don't see any of that these days.
Nope. No, thankfully all that's over.
It's all over. Displays of strength and intimidation. Yeah. Adolf continues to confront Jojo about the time he is spending with Elsa as he writes his book. So he's starting to become a little resentful of Jojo. Again, with the funny thing being, this is all in Jojo's mind.
Yeah, exactly.
So his subconscious,
balancing act.
His subconscious is noticing this and sort of fighting back at Jojo. Jojo dresses up as a robot. Would you describe that as a robot? I think a robot.
I think what a 30s era robot would look like in a 10-year-old's mind.
I think he's passing out like the conscription notes again and hanging them. And so in dressed up as this big like metal cardboard robot, he sees Rosie subtly leave a free Germany note on a bench. Finally formulating in his mind that yes, these aren't things that mom is just saying. She's actually doing. She is the resistance. So at home, Elsa calls out Jojo, says he's not a Nazi. You just want to be part of a club. Again, going back to basically what we've been talking about. You want to be part of the gang.
Exactly.
You want safety. You want comfort. You want belonging. And that's all this is. Like that's it. Through history, that's all it is. The social psychology of it. It's people want to feel safe. People want to feel like they belong to something. And there's strength in numbers.
And you just hope that the leader, and that's the problem. You know infinitely more about this than I do, so I'm just shooting from the hip here. But traditionally, weaker people are the ones that seek out this type of involvement, and therefore they're easily influenced. And you just hope that it's good people that are running these groups. However, typically, the good people are usually a little stronger and they don't need the groups, so they don't run them. It's somebody who just happens to be charismatic with leadership qualities that is also weak, and therefore they rise to the top. Yes, they rise to the top, and then they start acting from their negative zone, and it's insufferable. But thankfully, it's all behind us.
So Jojo at this point looks down and sees literal butterflies in his stomach.
That was
earlier. Rosie had told him, about butterflies, like you feel like butterflies, and that whole metaphor that most of us are familiar with. So 5 Gestapo agents, led by Agent Dirtz, again the Stephen Merchant character, show up at Jojo's home. Rosie's not there, and start to investigate something. They don't really say exactly why they're there or exactly who they're looking for. And a very out-of-breath Kleinzendorf then arrives. Interesting that he arrives moments after the Gestapo do. Dirtz asks Jojo where his mother is. Elsa then appears, because she's been hiding in one of the walls. And she appears there as... Jojo is being confronted by Dirtz, and she takes on the character of Inga. So she is pretending to be Jojo's sister. Kleinzendorf, they ask her for her papers. We haven't seen you around. So they ask her for her papers to prove her identity. And Kleinzendorf is the one who insists on looking at them, before Dirtz and his men can step in. And he confirms this is Inga, by validating her birthday. As the agents leave, Kleinzendorf tells Jojo, stay home and look after your family. Elsa, who kind of was white as a ghost there while Kleinzendorf was looking at the papers, says that I got the birthday wrong. He asked me what my birthday was, and I got the date wrong. And so they both deduced that Kleinzendorf helped them out.
Yeah, it's covered for him.
Jojo tells Adolf he doesn't think Elsa's a bad person, and then Adolf questions Jojo's loyalty. So he's the juxtaposition in Jojo's mind is definitely that the two sides are battling each other right now. So next day, Jojo chases a butterfly, that the butterfly he saw in his stomach, through the town square, and he ends up next to the gallows. And throughout the movie to this point, we had seen Rosie's shoes. They were a big part of her character. They were a big part of how the, from a directorial cinematography perspective of how she was shot. We saw her shoes a lot, and she's been hung. Yeah. Jojo doesn't realize, as he's kind of fantasizing, chasing this butterfly, he's next to the gallows, and he literally turns to his right and sees her shoes that are hanging right there at eye level. And he immediately just grabs and holds her legs, just beside himself. Shock, grief, just everything just hits at once.
It was a gut punch for me too. Like, I can't say the move surprised me in the film, but it took you from soft and delicate to real
really fast,
quick, like it hit hard.
And that's as I've talked with different family members about what they enjoy about this movie or the meaning they get out of this movie, like it's this is right there. We go from quirky humor to dead mother in a matter of seconds. So at home, he goes to stab Elsa, but he can't bring himself to put enough force behind it. So he just kind of limply lunges at her.
And Jews are knife proof.
Yes.
They are.
All of the things that she's convinced him of. Yeah,
exactly. She left that part out.
So that night, Elsa tells Jojo that your father Jojo is also a dissenter. He's not fighting in the war effort in Italy. He is a dissenter, aligned with Rosie and helping lead the efforts away from home. And together, they spend the night together. They watch explosions as the front lines in Germany, the Allies, are pushing into Germany, and they're just miles away from this town, getting closer. And she tells Jojo, he asks, like, what are you going to do when this is all over? And she just said, I'm going to dance. So the next day, the battle is there, Oz. Like, we're right in the thick of Act 3. Jojo is walking through the battle-strewn town, getting food from garbage cans. The town is under siege. He runs across Yorkie, who accidentally fires a rocket into a shop.
with a look of surprise on his face. Because again, this is a 10-year-old
Yeah,
boy.
like he sees his friend, like Yorkie sees his friend. Oh, hi, Jojo! Accidentally shoots this rocket.
It's a 10-year-old boy on the front lines.
The Russians and Americans are coming. Yorkie says Hitler is dead. The actual Hitler. He blew his brains out. Rebel Wilson, puts a grenade in a kid's pants and tells him to go hug that American.
Like it's not funny.
Yeah, but the way they frame it, you can't help but find the humor and how, again, not what they're doing, but just how it's framed. We see Ram then grab this gigantic, like 50 caliber weapon and just start shooting at someone off camera, and then she's just blown to bits. We get a slow-mo sequence as Jojo is watching the Hitler Youth member, his fellow peers, engage in battle with weapons, sees Kleinzendorf in this like glam outfit that he had designed for himself earlier in the movie. Jojo survives as Russian and American troops are victorious. We see the Gestapo agents getting taken away. In a collection of German prisoners, Kleinzendorf has been taken prisoner, and he tells Jojo Rosie was a good person and says, I actually liked your book, and just compliments him, trying to give Jojo something positive. And tells him, go home and take care of your sister.
Yeah.
Kleinzendorf then yells at Jojo, just, starts accusing him of being a Jew and, yelling anti-Semitic phrases at him, pushes him away as Kleinzendorf is then drug away. He just kind of smiles and winks at Jojo. And then off camera, we hear him executed by a firing squad.
Yeah.
Jojo comes across Yorkie, who's still alive, who says that I need to find my mother for a cuddle.
Yeah. It's so
like it's funny, but like it's that's what a 10-year-old is going to try to process.
Well, and I think it hits harder because this crap happened.
Yes.
This is not fiction. Yeah. This is fictional.
Yeah.
But this crap happened.
Yeah, they were telling these kids to go fight on the front lines.
Yes.
When all the kid wants to do is cuddle with his mom.
Right. Because being part of this group isn't fun anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really real. It's fun when there's no danger, when there's no
it's fun to go play. It's fun to go play in the woods.
Play war.
And jump over.
Yeah. But when it's real, when there's actual stakes.
Mm-hmm.
So Jojo is worried Elsa will leave. He goes home and tells her, "You have to stay here with me." That he tells her the Germans won. He just lies to her because he now has feelings for her. He flips through the book that he wrote, and we see a picture Elsa drew for him. Just a really sweet picture she drew earlier in the movie. We see pictures that he drew of him and his mother riding bikes, a rabbit protected in a cage. Jojo writes Elsa a letter as Nathan and says they have a plan to free Elsa and that you need to listen to Jojo. Elsa admits Nathan died last year from tuberculosis. So in a way, she's almost had kind of a quasi-imaginary friend to keep her going through this as well. Yeah. And Jojo says he loves her and admits, I know you think of me as a younger brother, which she agrees with. Like, I do love you, but more as a younger brother. And Jojo talks to himself in the mirror, just like in the beginning of the movie when he was pumping himself up, and says, today, just do the best you can. A disheveled Adolf appears one final time, Oz, with a cranial gunshot wound, wanders in, tells Jojo he's disgusted with him and the girl, gives him his Nazi armband. Jojo throws it down and then power kicks Hitler out of a window, like Captain America style, just boots him out of a window.
Which wasn't the first time that Hitler had been kicked by a Captain America style.
Yes, exactly. Elsa walks outside, safer for the first time, sees American soldiers riding by on a motorcycle with the American flag. Elsa slaps Jojo for lying, but then they start dancing in the street while Heroes by David Bowie in German plays a la the beginning of the movie, paralleling the Hard Day's Night thing. And before credits, we get some on-screen text that says, let everything happen to you. Beauty and terror, Just keep going. No feeling is final. From Rainer Maria Rilke, a poet that Elsa had cited earlier in the movie, and then credits roll as Heroes in German plays. That is 2019's Jojo Rabbit. Oof. A lot of fun, also incredibly harrowing at the same time. Yes. This movie manages that dissonance, manages to do both things at once. It's at times leaning a little further one way or the other. The pendulum definitely swings pretty hard and pretty far throughout this movie. But overall, I enjoyed it. But before we get to our bits, Oz, any final thoughts?
I also enjoyed it. I will give Taika credit where credit is due. Prior to this, he's made very fun movies. Yeah. And this is a very fun movie. But I really appreciate the depth and the breadth of taking on this topic, but in a way that isn't like all of the other World War II Nazi Germany. Like this was a movie about Germany. This wasn't a movie about the Nazis. Yes, they coexist in that era, but I'll get to more of it in my 3, 2, 1s. But yeah, this wasn't Thor. This isn't What We Do in the Shadows. That humor is there, but this was taking that next few steps and being like, I know what I'm doing, guys. Like, let me do it. And so I really enjoyed that because if you just watch Taika's filmography up to this point, he's funny. Like it's just what he does. And so it was. I really did enjoy seeing that next step out of him as a filmmaker.
Well, folks, at this point in the show, Oz and I give our own unique rating to the film we've been yapping about, 2019's Jojo Rabbit. Oz, how would you rate this flick?
I'm going to give this the Beatles' Hey Jude.
Hey, just give it a Hey Jude.
Hey Jude. As they were talking about different titles for his book. That was one of them. Hey Jude. That's my rating. What do you give it?
I'm going to go with 91 Korgs from Thor Ragnarok.
Exactly.
Folks,
not the synthesizer.
No, not the synthesizer. No. I mean, pick whatever image you want to go with that, or both, whatever. Or Korg playing a synthesizer.
I was going to say that may be AI Korg playing a Korg synthesizer.
I love it. Every week, folks, Oz and I scour the interwebs searching for unprofessional reviews that tickle our funny bones, and we hope they tickle yours as well in this week's edition of Outside Insight. Oz, my friend, what is your Outside Insight?
I have a 5-star review from Letterboxd from Crash Jacko back about October of 2019.
Okay.
It's pretty short. And he goes, Taika Waititi makes the best film of Wes Anderson's career. And does it while dressed as Hitler, which I assume makes just about anything more difficult. 5 stars.
Yeah, I would agree that from a cinematography perspective, there is a lot of Wes Anderson isms in this movie. A lot of like, was it dollying from left to right or Foley? I forget the right term.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a dolly glide.
Yeah, and just how things are framed and
color palettes.
Agreed.
And
so
costumes. Yeah.
My Outside Insight, as always, comes from the Internet Movie Database, and it is a 2 out of 10 review from Blorgen Bogen, left in January of 2020, with the subject line, Jojo Who? Only thing I have to say about this movie is, first of all, I fell asleep twice. Not very funny. The best was Sam Rockwell, and that's all.
Okay. Fell asleep twice.
Other than Sam Rockwell. Jojo Who?
Jojo Who?
That was a big phrase in Casey at JoJo's. Like we talked about Jodeci a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about soul food.
It's big line of the Richard Pryor bioflick too.
Jojo Who?
Jojo who?
All right, folks, it's that point in the show you've all been waiting for. The Let's Talk About Flicks signature segment, the 3-2-1, in which Oz and I each share 3 goods, 2 bads, and 1 about this week's movie, Jojo Rabbit. Oz, what are your 3 goods?
My first one, and I mentioned it earlier, the child actors are great in this film.
Yeah.
There's not a ton of them, thankfully, because then you're really playing in danger. But definitely Yorkie and Jojo were just so stinking cute and did what they're supposed to do, and it just they did a great job. Yeah. And what's her name? McKenzie
Thomasin.
Yeah, she did a great job too, because she wasn't very old in this flick either.
No, I mean, and she was great in Last Night in Soho that we reviewed a couple months ago.
She really was, yeah. So she's, I hope to see more of her, because she is, she's a solid actress for sure. 2, this is a beautiful movie.
It is, yeah.
I was reading in the trivia, I'm sure you did too, that a lot of times in cinema, Hitler Germany is depicted as just really dark and gray and just like the villain,
industry everywhere, and
just villainous, and it's like, when you are making a film, you have to choose a side, and that's the side that you're going to choose. But in reality, apparently, like, Nazi Germany at the time was still full of culture and like because again, there was still a resistance. It wasn't all hands on deck, everybody's on board. And so people were finding their own unique ways to battle. And I think what TD, based on what the trivia was saying, was really trying to play that angle of, Germany was still beautiful. Yeah. It just happened to be the people in charge were a disgrace. And so that's my second, is this was a beautiful movie. It really was. Just cinematography and set design and the whole 9 yards. And my third, I really like, and I know this is based on a novel, but I really like the demonstration of internal conflict through the use of an imaginary friend. Because unlike Shyamalan's The Happening, where we see Mark Wahlberg having conversations with himself to showcase the internal conflict, like at one point he says something along the lines of, think scientific, stupid, or something, like, because he's a scientist in the film. So
when I think science, I think Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but he has these external monologues to showcase his internal conflict, which doesn't work when you don't have the range of a golem, but using an imaginary friend to show that subconscious and that other side really helped, because again, we're talking about a 10-year-old, and a 10-year-old would have an imaginary friend. So it makes sense in this world, and it works to showcase the internal battle that Jojo's dealing with, as this is what I believe as a Hitler youth, but my mom's showing me different, and Elsa's not a dragon. And it's like, there's some battle going on, and I think that was a great choice in the novel, as well as how they portrayed it in the film, of demonstrating that internal conflict through the use of an imaginary.
I love that.
Those are my 3 guys.
I absolutely love that. Going back to Mark Wahlberg for a moment, little known fact, his big hit song Marky Mark, Good Vibrations, because again, at The Happening, it really leaned into him being a scientist. Good Vibrations was actually about geology.
Yeah, he was a seismologist.
It was
before he was a Calvin Klein
yes
model.
He was a Richter scale aficionado, an expert.
He named it, I think.
Good vibe.
His favorite female wrestler was Wendy Richter, and he thought she needed that's how his heartbeat measured whenever she came out of into the squared circle.
Good Vibrations was actually about seismology.
In Wendy Richter. Mark is a deep man.
He is.
Marcus
There's
Wahlberg.
There's a lot there to that Mark Wahlberg.
A lot of depth.
All right, my three goods. I'm going to start with just the really sweet scene of Rosie and Jojo, where she assumes the character being his father, and yeah, again, this I mentioned it before, but Act Two has some really sweet moments between Rosie and Jojo. There's also the scene by the river too, where she's dancing and whatnot. But just it, Rosie's a good mom, and she knows that if she tries to confront her son's belief system directly, it's not going to work.
Right.
And so she comes at it from the side with, with love, with care, with humor, and it works.
Yeah,
so,
it does.
Yeah. So just that scene, as well as just Rosie knowing how she has to approach her son, is my first good.
Well, based on the Nazis, she clearly understands how impressionable her son is. And so she takes it of, well, I'm going to impress you in other ways.
Yeah. My second good is, I briefly mentioned this before, but Kleinzendorf clearly has a thing for Rosie. But I'm glad that they did not explicitly get into that, because that would have derailed this entire film if there was too much of Kleinzendorf pining for Rosie. Yeah. He was there. He was trying to do what he could, from a very limited perspective, to protect her, to protect Jojo. Once he kind of caught on to the fact that they were hiding a Jew, to protect her as well. He got word that the Gestapo had entered Rosie and Jojo's house, and he sprinted there because he arrived out of breath.
Yeah.
And so his love and affection and admiration, I think, of Rosie is telling in this movie, but it was done, again, very subtly, which I appreciated.
Yeah. Did you pick up any undertones between Freddie Finkel and Kleinzendorf?
I wasn't paying attention to that. I probably have to pay attention closer in during rewatching. Are you saying that you did?
I mean, I did.
Okay.
Alfie Allen wasn't on screen enough for it to be like a through line.
Sure.
But and I think it was probably more Finkel towards Kleinzendorf than it was both. But there's a couple of beats where they would be in close conversation and then just hold an extra beat. There's a couple times where I'm like, they gonna kiss? Or do they just want to kiss? But of course, would have been a huge no-no. There was a couple of beats. And again, not enough to be a side story, but enough to be like,
again, you don't do this in this club. You don't do this in this gang.
Yeah.
You don't do this in this cult.
But yet we are around each other all the time.
Yeah. Okay. I will pay closer attention upon second viewing. But I in retrospect, I could see that, but I didn't catch it the first time through. But I trust your instincts there.
It definitely wasn't as forward as Kleinzendorf's feelings for Rosie, or at least respect for Rosie.
My third good is, I think I mentioned this. I mentioned this. I quoted someone earlier in the show. I didn't mean to reveal that earlier. It just kind of came out. We both work in education. We've both been around motivational speakers and professional development speakers and people brought in for students and whatnot. About 15 years ago, I saw a speaker, and normally, there's a decent message there, but it kind of comes and goes with me.
Yeah.
And there was a speaker I saw about 15 years ago that really stuck with me. The guy's name is Keith Hawkins. A Google search revealed he's still on the speaking circuit. And he mentioned something that he dropped a line that has always stuck with me. And that line was, it's hard to hate someone once you know their story. Mm-hmm. It's hard to hate someone once you know their story. Which is why, again, like American History X almost made my movie Marriage for that exact reason. And again, it's once those preconceived notions of bigotry, of racism, of bias are challenged by getting to know someone, that's when that cognitive dissonance happens. And that's clearly what we see here with Jojo. Once he got to know Elsa, he learned a little bit about her, spent time with her, learned a little bit of her story. His tune changed. It's
Of course.
hard to hate someone once you know their story. And in this day and age, if we all took a little bit more time to hear and understand people's stories, I think we would be in a better place. I know I'm speaking broad platitudes right now, but respect people's stories. Everyone has come from something, from somewhere. We each have different levels of entitlement or lack thereof as we've come through the ages, different resources, supports, more or less love in our lives, but we all have a story. And if we just took a little bit more time to empathize with people's stories, people's tales, I think we would be a happier society.
And that goes, and I know this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. And that goes for everybody. Yeah. This isn't just because so split right now.
Yeah.
And so splintered right now that, in an era of, we can't just disagree. We have to hate.
Yeah. I am told I don't like you. Because of my belief system, I therefore not only must disagree with you, but must also hate you for it.
And I think it's important to remember that while everyone seems to have a wall up, just like in The Big Bad Wolf and The Three Little Pigs, some of those walls are going to come down easier than others. And just because your willingness to hear someone else's story doesn't return as quickly doesn't mean you should give up. Because I think that's where we could end up as well, is, well, I'm willing to listen to them, but they're not going to listen to me. You might be right. But that doesn't mean quit.
Yep. And for context, for people who come across this video 40 years from now, we are recording in mid-March 2026.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But let's not kid ourselves. AI is going to run the world 40 years from now.
So Skynet, when you come across this video in 40 years,
program your LLMs to.
And when our evil robot overlords. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's my third good. And by the way,
that's a great
quote. Keith Hawkins is the name of the speaker that I heard that quote from. And again, most of those kinds of things don't stick with me. That one did, and had a big impact. So Keith Hawkins, if you ever come across this video, thank you for that. You had a big that little line influenced me a lot. So hey, Oz, what are your two bads for Jojo Rabbit?
Nitpicky as we get at times. This film was a little too Wes Anderson-like with its design. Sure. It didn't detract from it, but that was one when I was looking for an outside insight. I saw a lot of Wes Anderson references. And it was too. There. I noticed it even before I was looking for it. I was like, oh man, this, even down to the butterflies in his stomach, and it's like, it's okay. But it's okay, because if you're going to be influenced by a director, whether you recognize the influence or not, I wouldn't mind if I made a film and someone's like, that feels like a Wes Anderson film. Like, I'd be okay with that. That's a fair comp. That would be fine. So that's my first bad. My second one is Davis and Rockwell not getting Oscar nods for their roles. Scarlett J did. She was up for actress or supporting actress, one of the two, and deserved. I'm not taking away from her at all. But I thought that Rockwell and Davis nailed their parts. Rockwell, just enough nuance in his character to stay out of trouble while keeping others out of trouble. And Jojo, just a 10-year-old kid that comedically nailed everything he was supposed to. I think both of them did an outstanding job in their roles. And it would have been nice to get a little, at least nominees for them. But it is what it is. Because this film did get a lot of nominations. Yeah. It was well regarded and well respected.
Did it win any?
I think adapted screenplay.
Okay. That sounds right.
I think that was all it got. Okay. But again, it happens. The Oscars, they're the Oscars. So
Oscars are tomorrow, are they not? At the time of this recording?
I
think it's tomorrow.
That sounds right. Yeah, this was nominated for adapted screenplay, best picture, supporting actress, costume design, film editing, and production design, and it won for adapted screenplay.
I get a feeling.
Which is
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's just, but which is fair. Like it.
Yeah.
It was a great film.
Yeah. We'll see what the Oscars, what the 2026 Oscars brings tomorrow. I got a feeling it'll be Sinners or One Battle, winning Best Picture.
Yeah.
Both awesome films. Have you watched One Battle After Another yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Great movie.
It's weird movie.
Yeah.
Like, again, great film. Sinners, great film. Sinners definitely felt like it respected the 3-act structure. Whereas One Battle was the pacing, like for a movie that long, it never let up. And it was, I won't say the pacing worked, but it was just such an odd pacing than what your traditional film is going to play as. And it just was like, man, this movie does not stop.
Well, it's almost just like the two tales told, like there's not really acts. There's like story one and then how it connects to story two.
Yeah. It was, I really, Jenny and I watched that and both really enjoyed it. But like I think I mentioned before, that you're gonna, whenever you can get Leo on board and then make him ugly. Yeah. Like that's Leo in his Oscar mode is,
ugly Leo.
He'd been nominated. Yeah. He'd been nominated. And then it was The Revenant where it's like, let's not make him pretty. Let's see what happens if we make him ugly. Oscar. And from then on, it's like, let's make his hair a mess and put him in a robe. Yeah. Oscar. Yeah. So, but I think when it comes to actor, I think it's Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, I'll be very frustrated. I would be shocked. If he doesn't win it.
It's got to be Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
For my two bads for Jojo Rabbit, my first one is she did a good job, and like you said, she got nominated for an Oscar. I don't know if Scarlett Johansson was the best choice for Rosie.
I could agree.
And again, that's nothing against her. It's just I don't know. I had a hard time just accepting Scarlett Johansson in that role. And again, that's nothing against her or her performance.
No,
I don't know. I would have been curious to see this with somebody else in that role.
It had a somewhat similar vibe to Cameron Diaz in Gangs of New York.
Sure.
Like she did a fine job.
Almost too big of a name.
But it just felt odd. Like it didn't fit. So I agree with you. Rosie, Scarlett Johansson, it's like, I don't know who I would put there.
Yeah.
But that would be because at this point, like Sam Rockwell and Scarlett Johansson were the two probably most notable actors in this film. They weren't the leads.
Yeah.
Which helped, but Rockwell, I think, did fine because he can hide. I just think he does a good job of morphing into a character. Yeah. But it's like, I agree with you. I could see that.
So that's my first one, and my second one we've been talking about a lot already. So I'm not gonna beat a dead horse here, but just how desperate our human need is for social acceptance that we allow ourselves into this kind of dogma. Like as human beings, we are so desperate for other people to accept us and to validate us.
And so desperate for someone else to make the first move.
Yeah. That
like, I think so much of society and their loneliness can be solved is if somebody just took advantage of a low risk, high reward opportunity.
Yeah. And it's funny you just used the word lonely, because I was just going to tack on particularly young males. There's a lot out there right now about like the loneliness epidemic in young males and how it's driving some of these beliefs and this dogma and how this isolation psychologically impacts us and can lead to that festering resentment and hate and And Elsa even calls out Jojo for quote unquote wanting to be part of a club.
Yeah.
So, it's just why is it so important for people, especially young males, to be part of a tribe?
Yeah.
We need to belong, and our insecurities drive us to that. So, all right, those are my two bads. Hey, Oz, what's your huh?
What happens to Jojo now?
Okay, that's fair.
Like, the movie ends with he and Elsa dancing in the streets. He's an orphan.
Yeah. What happens when the Americans walk into his home and find that Nazi armband on the floor?
Yeah. Yeah, like just what happens to him now? Because it's like it ends on a good beat.
Yeah, they're dancing in the street, but what happens when the Bowie song's done?
Yeah, I mean, he's a 10-year-old Hitler youth. Yeah, he's reformed, but it's not like he's scrubbed his social media.
I hope they don't go through JoJo's Twitter. There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, but it's like, so what happens now? I don't know.
Yeah,
because I don't realistically see Elsa sticking around to raise him.
Yeah,
I mean, I could, but I don't know. That's just my that movie ended, and I had everything else up to that point but a hug, because I think it tied up everything fairly well, because it is based in history. Like, well, we know this is how the war went. But yeah, that movie ended, and I was like, well, what the heck happens to Jojo now?
Yeah.
What's your hug?
I struggled with Haas for this one too. So I morphed one of my possible bads into a Haas, so it's gonna read a little weird, but like,
okay,
how do studios how do studios come up with marketing for movies like this? Because I felt like the marketing made it feel like a like a true slapstick comedy.
If you didn't say slapstick, I was going to.
And it has elements of that.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole movie, it's not just 2 hours of Jojo and Hitler, like it's slow motion jumping over their youth
logs.
Yes.
And I agree. Yeah. The marketing for this, I do remember it was Taika Waititi as Hitler.
Uh-huh.
And that is maybe 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. The marketing suspiciously did not include Rosie's dead feet hanging there from the gallows.
Yeah. I don't know why we missed that.
They should have led with that in marketing.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. That definitely was the red jacket moment of this film. Mm-hmm. To take from Schindler's List of like, oh man. And it sucks because I did not see it coming. I just didn't.
Yeah.
When I watched Schindler's List, I was in junior high when that movie come out. I saw that coming. As soon as you saw that the little girl in the red coat is the only color in the film, it's coming back. I should have known. Like, they showed her shoes so many times. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, cute shoes. Oh well. And then
she must have got those at DSW.
Yeah.
Where can I get those shoes? Oh man,
I gotta pay less in Germany.
Pay less.
And then they're it hit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that's
that is a good question.
Like,
how do you market
this? Yeah. So that's 2019's Jojo Rabbit. Thank you to Patreon subscriber Lyle M and his better half Deb for recommending this movie. Last year, Lyle M brought us Hoosiers. Had a fun time with that one, and just thank you, Lyle M, for everything. Lyle M is my mind papa. Love you, Dad, and thank you for supporting us.
Yeah, thank you, Lyle, for your support, and maybe next year you'll get back on the show. We'd love to have you. So we've got another one next week because again, this Patreon subscriber month 0.5 does go 6 weeks.
It does
currently.
Yes.
It can go longer if you just get on board.
Go to patreon.com, subscribe.
And so we've got another one to end up. Well, I guess we're not ending up March yet. But yeah, we've got another one coming up next week, and we've got Aaron A's selection for next week, as she has brought to our attention a movie that is very famous.
Yes.
And we're going to cover Some Like It Hot.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I've seen this movie one time. I remember really enjoying it, but it is going to feel like a new movie again.
I started watching it last night. I'm about 2/3 through, and it's just such a fun movie. Jack Lemmon is absolutely amazing in this movie.
Yes, I agree. Jack Lemmon is amazing in about everything.
That is true. But this movie, and that's not nothing against Marilyn Monroe and Tony Curtis, but Jack Lemmon is just
powerhouse.
He's so good in this.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely agree. So, Some Like It Hot with Aaron. Is she joining us?
I think she is. I will confirm later today, but I believe she will be on camera with us.
Excellent. So it's always fun having guests join us on the show. So Aaron A, we are looking forward to discussing Some Like It Hot and hopefully discussing it with you. Social media wise, you guys can find us on Facebook and Instagram. I'm slacking on YouTube Shorts again, but now that busy time has wrapped season up a little bit, I think I'll have more time to go back into previous episodes and pull some shorts. And again, always check out the website.
Everything's there.
Mm-hmm. It's all there, minus the shorts, but links to everything. You can stream, past episodes. You can contact us and leave, recommendations, any and everything.
Well wishes.
Yeah. There's a Patreon link. Because we're pining for that $3 a month.
We are. Can't live without it.
No, not at all. So, but for another episode of Let's Talk About Flicks, I'm
Curtis.
And we'll see you next week with Some Like It Hot.